What's up everybody, this is Mike. Welcome back to another video, and as you can probably tell from the intro of today's video, today we are going to talk about the Slypod. The Slypod is a very interesting mix between a motorized slider and a monopod, and it's from a company called MOZA. You're probably familiar with them and their products, the gimbals that they make, the MOZA Air 2, the MOZA Air Cross, and they're very popular among the filmmakers. But now they have just released a new product called the Slypod. It's very interesting and I want to tell you more about it. So first of all, why do you even need a slider? Generally, sliders are used, of course, for video, and they could be used in a variety of different scenarios. You can use them for time lapses, you can use them for product shots, you can use them outside to shoot some really interesting B-roll cinematic sequences, and they enhance your footage by providing a very smooth transition from point A to point B. So this is a slider that I bought maybe a year ago, and I want to show you the main problem of today's sliders. They are huge. This one is a cheap one. It's not something amazing, but it's from carbon fiber, and it's pretty long, but it's a pain in the ass to set up. And also it's not very smooth as it's not motorized. You have to push the camera yourself, and the shots that you can achieve with this are, you know, something in the middle. They're not terrible, but they're not amazing. And here is where the Slypod makes all the difference. Because let me show you how compact this thing is. Let me just take out a few of those things so I can show you the box, and you can see how everything fits in a tiny box. This carrying case is actually quite sturdy, and I love the presentation. I love how you're able to put everything back into place after using it. But let me show you the Slypod itself. So this is the Slypod itself. It's super compact. It weighs 750 grams and it's made from carbon fiber, so that makes it extremely light compared to other sliders. And it's also weatherproof. That means that it's resistant to dust, sand, and wind. It's not resistant to water, so be aware of that. It has this really cool wooden handle for more grip. You can easily attach it on the bottom, and if you want to, you can also attach this little attachment to make it sit on the ground easily. This is the same tripod that you can attach to the MOZA gimbals. So if I put it on the ground, it stays there. And let me show you what else you get in the box. You have this fluid head, which you can put on top of the slider. I'll demonstrate in a second. And you have an extra attachment for other cameras. And that is extremely cool because you can also mount pretty much any other camera. You can use the Osmo Action, any GoPro, the Insta360, any other camera that you want, you can put on this slider and create some really different and creative shots. So of course you also have a quick start guide. This thing is extremely useful if you're not aware what you need to do to operate with the Slypod. I recommend you to read that first. That's what I did as well, and it's quite well written. It's not like some other user manuals that you read and you don't understand anything after that. And you have a base plate for mounting your camera here. So what I really like about the Slypod is the fact that it can carry up to 9 kilograms vertically and up to 4 kilograms horizontally. So that makes it pretty stable and makes pretty much any normal camera compatible with the Slypod. I also really like how easy it is to attach this fluid head to the Slypod itself. You just slide it in, you rotate the little switch to lock it, and then you also need to slide this little ring, and it's locked. It's not moving anywhere. And now if I want to attach my camera here, I can use this base plate and attach it right here. This fluid head is really cool and useful if you want to make different types of shot. You can just easily change the orientation of the head. So now you can mount your camera like this and it will slide left and right. And if you change the position, now your camera will slide up and down. And it takes literally 3 seconds to change that. And if you want to, you can also change the pan. So you have a lot of freedom to compose your shots and set them up the way you want them to look. But let me turn it on so I can show you the Slypod in action. So to turn it on, you only need to press on the power button, which is right here on the bottom of the Slypod, and press for 3 seconds until you see a green light. And there you go, it's now turned on. And you only have 2 buttons on the Slypod itself. You have one plus button and one minus button, as well as a USB-C port for charging. The USB-C port is also really cool because you can power the Slypod with a power bank and use it for more time. The normal running time of the Slypod is up to 2 hours, and you charge it for about an hour and a half. And now if I want to extend the arm of the Slypod, I simply press on the plus button and it starts sliding. If I press again, I will increase the speed, and if I keep pressing, it will increase the speed even more. I honestly don't think you need to use this slider on its full speed. First of all, it doesn't make really a lot of sense to use it on its full speed because it takes less than 12 seconds to extend it to its maximum position. And also because it makes a little bit of sound, so your microphone will definitely pick up that sound. And in case that's something that you don't want, be aware of that. But for normal sliding shots, I think lower speeds are ideal. So something like this, where the slider moves really slowly and smoothly, it's just perfect for product shots, for example, and that's the main thing I think I will use this Slypod for. That was on a maximum speed, by the way. One of the major selling points for this monopod slash slider is the fact that you don't really need to use those buttons on the bottom. You can use the Moza Master app. And that app is just great because in that app you can control your gimbal, you can control your Slypod, and you can even use them simultaneously. And that's something that I really enjoy. The ecosystem of the Moza products works well with the different products they make. So in case you have the Moza Air 2, for example, you can actually attach your gimbal to the Slypod and make them work together. So you can enter that mode where the Slypod continuously goes up and down. Don't worry about the sliding of the Slypod, it will do it until you stop it, and then you can just control your gimbal to create some really great looking shots. I'll put some of them on the screen right now so you can see what I'm talking about. But once you enter that app, you have so much control to create some interesting shots. You can move the slider independently and create patterns, different paths that you want your slider to follow. You can control the speed, the direction, and pretty much anything about the slider you can control it from the app, and that's something that I really like. Generally, I think having a slider is very useful for repeatable motions, something that you want to do many times. Maybe you want to create some very interesting shots with different products but with the same type of movement, and if you do them by hand, you really cannot be sure that you're going to achieve the same motion by doing it with your hands only. But with this slider, you can just put it on a tripod, mount your camera, and just do the same motion and create a really cool cinematic sequence. And I think those use cases are the best for a slider slash monopod like this. The most popular competitors of this slider slash monopod are the Rhino sliders and the Edelkrone sliders, which by the way are extremely expensive. So this is pretty much the best affordable option for a motorized slider in my opinion, and compared to the Rhino sliders, this is definitely a lot more compact. It fits in your backpack as soon as you remove those the wooden handle and the tripod mount. If you remove them and it's all the way down, and you remove the fluid head, which by the way happens in just 2 seconds, this thing can actually fit in your backpack or even outside of your backpack, but it's really compact and tiny and also lightweight because it's made of carbon fiber. So if you're looking to have a full control over the whole filming situation and you're using a Moza gimbal like the Moza Air 2 or the Moza Air Cross and you have the Slypod, you can also get the Moza iFocus M, and this little thing will allow you to control the focus manually by adjusting the focus ring with the gimbal wheel that you have on your Moza gimbal. So this thing is extremely useful to put it on top of your camera, or actually right next to your lens. So if you're looking for full control, you can achieve this with those Moza accessories, and I think they are definitely going into the right direction by releasing accessories that just work well with each other. I think that's extremely useful for long-term usage when you invest in expensive gear like this. This is not a cheap thing, because it's, like I said, $500, but if you get the slider, you get the focus, you have a gimbal, you can make them all work together simultaneously and just get some very creative shots. And that's it, that's the Slypod. And I personally believe the sliding motion that you can add to your footage by using this slider is something that is very tiny, very small, but makes a huge difference in your final footage. And personally, I think I will use it a lot, mostly for product shots, but also for time lapses, for moving cinematic sequences that just give a little bit more motion in your footage and create something more interesting to look at. And that's pretty much everything I have for you today. I will link the Slypod in the description if you want to check it out, but please drop a like if you enjoyed today's video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!